I've seen guys throw batting gloves in the stands. I've seen guys throw hats in the stands. I've seen guys throw gloves in the stands. I mean, I've seen guys throw all kinds of stuff in the stands, and they come back and play the next day. So there's obviously more to this story.
Jorge Lopez was a New York Mets reliever, DFA'd. Technically, when you're DFA'd, you're still with the team until they figure out what they're doing with you, but he's not going to be on the team anymore. So, and by the way, at a sub-4 ERA, but got tossed from yesterday's game, tossed his glove into the stands, which was awesome for one fan to be able to get some classic memorabilia. And then post-game, he said this.
The emotion, but that particular action of throwing your glove into the stands was unacceptable. Looking back on it, do you regret doing that?
No, I don't regret it. I think I've been looking the worst teammate probably in the whole MLB. So, whatever happened. So, whatever they want to do, I'll be tomorrow here if they want me. Whatever they want to do. So, I'm gonna keep doing this thing. So I'm healthy on whatever. On whatever to do. I'm ready to come back tomorrow, and if they want me to be here, so I'll be here.
Okay. We're going to show the glove toss too. If you're watching right now, if you're listening on the pod, then watch later in case you missed it. I mean, it's been 16 hours or something like that, so you missed a lot. But a little more context, and then let's get into it. Carlos Mendoza, who's generally not a team meeting guy, plans to address the team after that. He did. This was from Anthony DiComo reading some of his tweets because Mendoza said it was unacceptable. They did have a team meeting, then they let the media in a little bit later than usual, and some of the other players said, yada, yada, we had a team meeting. The usual. DiComo also was one of multiple reporters, Steve Gelbs, I think, from the Mets also did this, that wanted to clarify if he said team or teammates, and he essentially said both. Did you say worst effing team or worst effing teammate? He was like, both. And DiComo said regarding confusion over whether Lopez said he was on, quote, the worst team or was, quote, the worst teammate, I'm told Lopez later explained his comments as a combination of both, the worst teammate on the worst team. And then one more from DiComo. He said, I want to be clear about this. Jorge Lopez was not DFA, designated for assignment, as in essentially let go by the team, because of any teammate confusion. He was DFA'd because he embarrassed the organization with his actions and words, throwing his glove into the stands, lying about meeting with management, and offering zero remorse. Go ahead, AJ.
First of all, what did he lie about meeting with the management? I must have missed that somewhere along the way because I never heard that one that he lied about. When did he lie about that? Before I start giving my thoughts, Scott.
Well, maybe because he said hopefully he stays with the team, but he already knew he was DFA'd. Something like that is my guess. But also here's the follow-up too from him. He posted on his Insta, whoever heard me, I said teammate. And what I said on the situation, I've been the worst teammate. Thanks media for making it worse. I also want to preface Jorge Lopez going through a lot behind the scenes. I'm going off of, what was it, Boomer Esiason, who, former quarterback who's in the media in New York, said, that his son is going through a waiting for a transplant. I didn't get more specifics, but anyway, going through it right now. So you might think we're going to go in one direction. I don't think most people expect the direction that we're going to go, but go ahead.
First of all, let me say this. I've seen guys throw their glove in the stands before. They didn't get DFA'd. The only guy I ever saw do anything crazy, Jose Paniagua double-birded the White Sox fans once, but he was on the White Sox at the time. He got DFA'd. Listen, Jorge Lopez was frustrated, mad. The Mets have been in it right now. They're struggling. We've documented it. He got kicked out of the game. Probably shouldn't have got kicked out of the game. He was frustrated. He threw his glove in the stands. He has probably 100 gloves in his locker, or he has access to 100 gloves. So I don't know that. And as far as the lying, what he did, I don't know. He was just frustrated. They catch you right after the moment. It's so hard. This is one of the arguments that people have all the time. They want raw emotion, but you catch guys before they've had a time to calm down and think, and that's what obviously people want because they want the raw emotion. But, man, I feel for this guy right now, and I think if you listen to it, you hear him say teammate, and he was kind of taking the blame a little bit. This is a guy who's been through it a little bit before in the past, and this is not an excuse at all. But gosh, man, I feel for the guy. He got DFA'd. If his kid is going through it, I feel for him. But gosh, I've seen guys, Kratz, you've had to have seen a guy throw their glove. I've seen guys throw batting gloves in the stands. I've seen guys throw hats in the stands. I've seen guys throw gloves in the stands. I mean, I've seen guys throw all kinds of stuff in the stands, and they come back and play the next day. So there's obviously more to this story. But man, I feel for Jorge Lopez because of the emotion. But at the same time, the Mets said they were embarrassed. They made a decision, and they've decided to move on.
I can side with the Mets saying that, hey, you know what? We're embarrassed. We're going to move on. They want to set a standard. I just don't know that this is the line they should draw in the sand. Not with a guy that, when I played with him in 2018, obviously we're going on 6 years now since that was, he was the most nice, like engaged, wanting to learn English teammate that you can see from AAA coming up. And he got sent down 2 or 3 times in the season we played together. And he was like, okay. He's like, I'll see you later. He's like, good luck. I'll see you later. And just an incredible, incredible human being. And so is there more going on? Was it just the glove in the stands? Because Harper got thrown out of the game and he threw his helmet in the stands last year. I think it was the year before. Like, I don't know what was the embarrassing part that the Mets are looking for or are looking at and saying, yeah, this is why we're DFAing him. But to me, you like emotions. If you have somebody that doesn't have emotions, then you question, like, is this guy really in it? And he's one of their better bullpen pieces. Like, he's actually needed. And I don't think at all he said team. I think he said teammate. And to me, the different reports I read, there was not an interpreter when they went back to him and tried to clarify his remarks, clarify exactly what he said. There was not an interpreter present. Obviously, I am not getting this firsthand. I'm getting it secondhand on different things that I researched people talking about. But he 100% said teammates.
Okay, so let's clear up some stuff. First off, Joel Sherman helped to tell a little bit of the story here when he tweeted last night that the team was planning to DFA him because of the glove throwing incident. And then he said, Lopez said he did not meet with Mets officials when he talked to reporters after the game, but a source said he indeed did meet with both David Stearns and Carlos Mendoza, and the Mets were DFAing the reliever. The Mets need to provide some transparency here. This is one time where I think right now they look terrible. First off, like you guys mentioned, we're tossing the guy from the team because he threw his glove because he's pissed because the team sucks right now. Really? Like, I'd like to hear more of an explanation on that. Like, you're that hard ass that one guy who's got a sub-4 ERA for a team that's ranked 19th or 20th in pitching in a pitcher's park is just getting rid of him. You're that good. You have to set that kind of example. You have someone like Kratz saying he's a good dude, and I'm sure many other teammates feel the same way. I've heard the same thing about him too. Like, over one incident like that wasn't dangerous, and guys get pissed off all the time. That's one. Number two, where is PR help? Interpreter, PR, etc. And if you're not, and if you felt like you were there and you did your job, then again, something should be said. Hey, this is what he said. He said team and teammate. He was wrong on that IG story afterward. Context is needed, especially in New York. You need transparency. Otherwise, in my mind, they should get slammed. This was completely mishandled from an organizational standpoint. PR looks messy here.
So, Scott, let me ask you this, and Kratz, let me know how you feel about this. The fact that he didn't say he was DFA'd, I actually give him credit for. If he already knew it, because they'll tell you, I mean, you've been DFA'd, I've been DFA'd. They're like, hey, don't talk to reporters. Don't say anything until we make an announcement. We want to announce it first. So actually the fact that he didn't say anything and they're like, oh, he lied, I guarantee you they told him don't say anything until we make a move, because if he goes out there and goes, I just got DFA'd, then the next question from the Mets people are like, oh, who's coming up? Who's doing this? Who's doing that? So I actually give the guy more credit for not saying he was DFA'd. And I know I was DFA'd with the Red Sox. They're like, hey, make sure you don't tell anybody. Get out of here before the media gets here. So, you know, we can do the things without the media knowing. And I'm like, they're going to find out like an hour from now. But they're like, no, we, you know, do us a favor. I'm like, you know, you guys just DFA'd me. Why would I do y'all a favor? Whatever. I wanted to get the hell out of there anyways. So to me, like, the fact that Lopez didn't say anything to me is kind of almost awesome, because if he should have been like, yeah, they just DFA'd me for throwing my glove in the stands. Then what would the Mets have said? Oh, no, it was blah, blah. Well, that's the reason they came out and said he embarrassed the organization. So actually, he should be getting kudos from people for not saying that if he already knew.
Can be embarrassing. It like what you say when you're embarrassed, like for him to not blow the Mets up and be like, yeah, if he had already had the meeting and already been DFA'd and he still went out there, to me, this is the guy that I played with, the guy that would still go out there and put himself out there. Clearly, he was embarrassed. Clearly, when the interview started, his head is down and he's like, he looks up. He's not like, yeah, you know what? I did what I did. Like, he was clearly distraught over what he did. And to me, I completely agree with what AJ said. Like, you get DFA'd, that's almost more embarrassing than, throwing your glove in the stands or getting kicked out of the game. Like, there's a shot to your pride when that happens. So for him to not say anything, kudos.
There you go. Well said. So Lopez will get picked up by another team and he'll thrive. Is he amazing this year? No. But he is a big league reliever. One incident that to me is not even that big of a deal. Sorry for showing emotion because the team has been getting their asses kicked, and it happened again, not to mention what actually happened on the field, right? They got dusted by the Dodgers. Dodgers exploded in the 8th this time for late runs. Yeah, you're going to be pissed. He didn't punch someone. It's so soft. It's to me, this was just a mess and I need more transparency. PR exists for fans to understand the perspective of what's going on. And right now I don't see it. So I think there needs to be more spoken. New York media crushes it on that front, right? You've got reporters that are going to keep asking questions. So we'll see what happens when they chat with Mendoza and anyone else that wants to speak on the Mets behalf. But we need more here, in my mind.
He's a year and a half from being an all-star too. Like, don't even like bring up the fact of the things that he's gone through in his personal life. Like, he is a contributor on a baseball team, and he had a really hot first half, made the all-star team. Like, somebody's going to pick him up, and maybe a lot has happened in 6 years that he has become a bad teammate or somebody that, this is not just the first time. Maybe that's happened. It's not what I saw. If somebody asked me, hey, what kind of guy is this? I would give him 100% glowing marks.
I love hearing that. It makes me feel even more strong about where my thoughts are here.
Hey, everybody. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content.
We're back here every weekday, all year long, so do not miss an episode.
The videos are coming in all day. Here's another video you might enjoy.
Baseball the way it should be covered.